What's going on, guys? So, been playing a lot of mini healer lately, and I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys my in-game build. I was on YouTube kind of looking around. I didn't really see much as far as builds go, so I thought some people might find it interesting and it might be a little bit helpful. So yeah, let's get into it. As you can see here, I have quite a few epics, and the reason behind that is a lot of the epics that you can cast, I mean, for example, you just kind of look at the stats here, really are good for survivability. And once you start pushing those later, dungeon fours and stuff, I feel like survivability becomes a lot more important than just raw damage. So what I try to do is kind of find a good even ground, or have really good amount of survivability, but I can still do a good amount of damage as well. So with that said, I guess I'll go ahead and I'll talk about the individual pieces of gear. So as you can see here, I'm using the Woeful Silver. This sword is absolutely bonkers, and yeah, it makes your tank do so much damage. But I'm using that in conjunction with Thunder Soul, and I'm also using Thor as well, just to pretty much have 60% increased damage all the time. And since it's a lightning thing, it also goes pretty well with what I'm using here. Let's see here. For the augments, I decided to go full into tank, crit strike, chance, and attack speed. The reason is because my tank is literally my sole damage dealer, so it's not really worth going the party route, where you can get party critical chance and party critical damage and everything, because the tank actually does get more if you specify tank for your augment. So I decided to go that route. Threw on some extra lightning damage. It might be better to go attack speed, I'm not sure, but I'm kind of thinking lightning damage probably is better to put on weapons for this kind of build. But I'm not sure, just because because of Woeful Silver here, the tank benefits twice from the lightning damage, because Berserker gets it and he himself gets some lightning damage too. So I think probably overall it's a little better. And then I got for the body armor here, decided to go physical resist and just pretty much max health. I also have stone form on this and my legs, and the reason is because it's just a really good talent. It gives your tank 20% more damage, and your party quite a bit more survivability with some max health and some resistances and stuff, I'm pretty sure. But I'll get in talent tree and I'll show you guys that later. Also threw on some heal power, because why not? Healing is obviously very nice in this game. And then Thunder Soul, the 50% other damage element, converted to lightning. I kind of feel like it adds a raw 50% of whatever it is to your attack, because maybe I'm just misinterpreting it, but based on the DPS stats and stuff, I'm pretty sure it just adds a flat 50% of all other elemental damage you're doing to your actual damage, so which in turn makes this do so much damage. So yeah. And then Thor, pretty much just to have the because I'm critting all the time, because I think my tank has pretty close to 90% crit chance, but I also use a talent that boosts his crit and his base damage and everything, so he pretty much has 100% crit chance. Excuse me. So the special ability is always up, is my point. And then up here I have just a beat stick, but I want to try to boost my Berserker's lightning damage as much as I could, because my tank benefits from my Berserker's lightning damage with an increased base ice damage to 200% of my Berserker's lightning. So decided to go full lightning, just beat stick on this thing. As you can see, I got 3 sockets on it, which further increase lightning damage for my party. And then for augments, I also went for everything tank. I think actually on every piece of gear I went full tank attack speed, crit chance, and damage. So yeah. And then for accessory, again, just more survivability. Really tried to pump out that health and get some healing power and stuff. And a little bit more damage in there with the lightning and physical. So, and party crit chance stuff at the top there. So pretty good stuff. After that, I will go into my talents. I'm not going to go through every one. I'm just going to kind of briefly talk about the tree here, maybe point out the ones that are really important. I'll just briefly go through this, I guess. I went 5 points here because there's literally nothing else that can help. Heal power is good. Down into Eclipse just for a little bit more damage, plus it's got that health on it. Down into Nimble Aura for the attack speed mostly, with a little bit of like aura bonus and stuff. Then I went into him for the resist, and the mana regeneration is really nice because I don't really have a way of getting mana back. For a while I was using New Spring, and I had actually crit chance on all my gear for my party, so my healer was actually critting quite a bit too, so I could like reduce the cooldown and rejuvenate quite a bit. But I decided recently just to go back into full tank crit chance instead of party, because I mean this is kind of a situational thing. So you can see I kind of went out of my way here to grab a couple mana regen things, just so I have a little bit more mana regen in fights, especially the longer ones once you get deeper into the cavern. So I also got Blessing the Forest. This is an insane heal, especially with this build, because like I think all my characters have over 200,000 life. So well, actually, maybe one's like right there. So one might be a little bit under, but everybody else is like over 200,000. So a 6% heal of 200,000 every 6 seconds. They're actually 7%, I think. It's pretty substantial. I also decided to grab the Regen Aura, just for a little bit more healing. Definitely doesn't hurt. Picked up Survival Instinct, mostly for the health. Evergreen, solely for the mana regen. Mother's Gift because I am using Blessing in Gaia, which is the ability that does increase your crit chance and stuff. It also increases your base damage, so increasing that by 30% obviously helps with dealing more damage and stuff. And down here, Reactive Instinct, mostly for more health. I don't really care about the dodge chance stuff, but I mean, I guess it's nice, but this was just the health dip here. And then into Stone Form, and as you can see I got 5 points in it. 2 of those come from my gear, so it ends up being 100% extra tank damage, 35% extra tank health, 15% party member health, and 10% physical resist, along with the other stuff over here, as you can see. After that, decided to go Invigorate, a little bit more health, heal power, physical resist, elemental damage. It's good stuff. And finally, in the Druid Tree, invested in Blossom, 3 points. Actually, on my gear, I don't know if you saw, I guess I can show you real quick. On my accessories and stuff, I decided to go with an increased amount of Blossom healing. So it ends up actually being pretty good in the long run, just having that constant heal every like 7 seconds. So I think I decided to go that way instead of like boosting regen or boosting the aura effects, just because I think it's probably a little bit more substantial overall to have like literally double the Blossom healing. So I decided to go that route. It's ended up being pretty well. Plus there's some elements of resist on here, which is obviously really nice to get. So after that, got the Priest Tree, and basically went Paladin for the healing power. This one just for the healing power as well, because there really wasn't much more to go into. Strengthen, will build lightning damage and health. Went here just for a little bit of health because there's nothing else to really dip in there. Energy Aura for lightning damage. Protection Aura for the extra health and healing and everything. It's really nice. Aura Mastery to increase my aura effects and everything. And the 3% more damage per aura is very nice. I'm only running about, I think, 6 auras or so, but it's still a pretty substantial increase in damage, so definitely worth it. Divination Aura, Nemesis Resist is obviously really nice, really hard to get in this game, I've noticed. And the mana regen, also, like I said, I'm not running any skill that increases my mana, so it's nice to have some regen. And then lastly, Revive. I really feel like you do need Revive if you're pushing the super harder floors, because if your tank dies, you pretty much just wipe if you don't have Revive. And in the later floors, like, your stuff's gonna die quite a bit regardless, I think. So definitely worth getting revived, and that's a lot of the reason why I decided to. I mean, since it's right here too, it's like why not? Plus, get a little bit of health. So really good, pretty clutch skill. After that, I have nothing in Occultist, which is kind of surprising, but I just didn't feel like it was worth investing the points, because I thought they were better served elsewhere. Obviously, there's a lot of damage in the Occult tree, but I decided, you know, kind of like how I geared, I just wanted to kind of split up the damage and the survivability to make it relatively even here. So then lastly, got the Paladin tree. As you can see, I went pretty far in the Paladin tree. You got Resilience here, and then I got Blessed Spirit. It increases the effect of all buff skills by 15%, so, shoot. That one talent, that Gaia talent or whatever, I guess I can look at the skills here. Or Blessing of Gaia gets an increase as well, 50% more, so more base damage, more critical strike chance and everything, so that's a little bit nice that they have that like as a quick, easy tier 1 skill you can pick up along with some heal power on the side. Tough as Nails is really good just for the resist and health, a little bit of party regen, which is nice. And I also have regen on both my like chest and leg pieces, so I think it's like over 400 regen on those combined with a little bit from skills. It ends up being nice to have that kind of stuff. Also went to Conviction here for the maximum health. It's actually pretty good on my tank. I've noticed when I look at the DPS after fights, it ends up doing quite a bit, so I think it's definitely a pretty good talent. Movable Fortress after that for the health, and to reduce the effects of stuff like slowing and silence. Obviously it's very nice, so you're able to heal, and you don't get just destroyed by some crazy AoE stuff because you can't move fast enough. So I think the reduction is really important. And then the 7.5% less damage while standing still is a nice bonus as well. After that, Fortification Aura, reducing all damage, elemental resist. Can't really go wrong there. After that, Leadership. Yeah, Leadership's just really good. I have a bonus to Leadership on my... I think I do on my gear. Pretty sure. Yeah, I got... Okay. So I basically have double Leadership effect, which is nice. It's more base damage. There's some pretty good healing with it. So, yeah, 3 there. Time and Need is absolutely clutch skill for a tank, especially mine, because I think my tank is pretty close to 250,000 life. So again, the 12% healing every 7 seconds, coupled in with the what's it called? Survival Instinct, means your tank can heal for quite a bit, and it shows up too in the aftermath logs, like DPS logs and stuff. You can kind of really see how much this actually heals your tank for, and it's pretty substantial. So, absolutely insane skill. After that, I went Blessed Company, mostly for the extra base damage, because it's really nice and helps with everything. But it also has some healing power and has some pretty nice effects that you can proc occasionally. So, pretty good skill there. Went Zeal for the crit chance and the critical strike damage. Really good stuff there. And then I went 1 point into Divine Aegis for the extra health. After that, I went 1 point in Divine Decree. I think it's pretty important to put 1 point in this, just so you're not getting like all your shit blocked, which seems to happen a lot. I don't think you need 3 points, but as long as you make it so that, because I mean, if you actually pay attention to how much your shit gets blocked, it's kind of crazy. So 1 point just completely changes that and increases your DPS so much because they're not blocking or dodging all your stuff. So, but I think 3 is a bit excessive, because you attack so fast generally that it's like, you know, 1 attack's not a big deal to proc this and then give you an extra second to do more damage. After that, Blessing of Warding, really good because I need to use Sanctuary again once you get to the deeper levels. In my experience, I feel like, you know, stuff like Sanctuary really is essential to keeping your tank up or anyone's like about to die. So really good there. Plus it's got some, you know, resist on and stop healing power. Resist, which is always really good. And last but not least, got Focus Prayer for the health, elements resist, physical resist, just a bunch of resist on this thing. And then if I had more points, I'd probably throw in Ascension just for the flat 400 bonus there. But fortunately, I ran out of points. But yeah, that is the build overall. My DPS is pretty good. It's about obviously I sacrifice a lot by having the epic gear and stuff, but my DPS is still pretty good. It's about I think 16 mil on my tank, which I guess I can go ahead and show you that real quick. Then you can kind of just see my party health and everything too, which is nice. And I guess I can kind of talk about my skills as well. So I do use Toughen as well, which is nice, just to boost my health a lot and gives me more resist. So we'll just do like a minute DPS test here. I also use Heaven's Melody just for increased healing. Buy Min because it's super cheap and it has that ability to in the Paladin tree where you can just stack and increase the effectiveness of it and everything. So, and then Sanctuary, obviously so I don't die and stuff, and then Blessing Guy for the increase and everything, base damage and all that stuff. So, and then Revive as well to be able to bring back people that are dying. So. Alright, kind of going up, starting to go up a little bit. But yeah, I think around like 16 mil or so is pretty much where it caps out. Kind of slow start actually, usually it's a little quicker. I usually have it around a minute, but as you can see, it's pretty close. If I kept going, I'm sure it would get there. So, not bad damage, but overall, like what I was saying, once you get to those deeper fours, I think survivability is a lot more important. I'll actually get back and I'll show you my stats as far as like resistances and stuff go, because that's another thing that's really important in this game. And you got to remember that I have a little bit of increased resistances from my auras that I get, and then using Toughen as well increases my resistances. I'm not sure if those can put you over the threshold of like 75 or whatever, but I would imagine they can't. So I think I'm pretty close to max resist like all the time, which is good. Except my nemesis resist is a little low. You can check my healing power here, tank DPS and everything, or total damage or whatever. But yeah, attack speed, and you can see my critical chance on my tank, critical damage and everything. And lastly, I guess I'll kind of talk about farming for the let's see, the crystals and stuff, what I do, because like you need a lot of the crystals to reroll gear and everything. And simply all I do is I just keep Infinity, I'll enter the depth, I'll look for the merchant. If he's not there, I just leave. And I keep doing this until he pops up. Now if you want, something I do sometimes as well is like I'll get to like 410 or something where it's like very easy. And I think that's the first level where you can like actually use the curse potions and fight a boss. To actually get some more of these like crystal stuff. So if you want, you can do that. I recommend doing 410 just because it's, for the sake of time. I'm just going to show you until the merchant appears here. Hopefully he appears quickly. I mean, it's all RNG, but usually it's pretty quick. Until I film a video. Then it's going to take forever. But generally it's quite quick. It kind of seems like he has more on him, like the further in the forge you go, but I'm not really sure. I think the most I've ever gotten off him one time was like 11, but there's a lot of times where like I just got like 1 or 2, which is kind of a drag. But alright, usually does not take this long. But I mean, it's a bit tedious, but I find this to be the fastest way. And then hitting the okay, there he is. And then I would just like buy all, leave. And then rinse and repeat, right? But if you're doing that, you're doing the if you can comfortably clear 410, then I think doing the curse cups, if they're on the first 4, is fine as well. So yeah, and as far as leveling goes, is the best place I found, like if you're not level 100 yet and you just want to grind out levels, I go to the Midnight Zone and I go up here and I just throw on 5 crystals here. And then I'll just do this. I guess I'll clear this real quick. Why not? Very easy once you get to a certain amount of gear and stuff where you can just kill stuff like immediately. But what I would do when I was grinding to get to level 100, I would literally just tab and go on YouTube or something, watch a video or something for a minute, come back, rinse, repeat. Plus you get a lot of money doing this, so I find this to be the easiest. It's kind of weird how the scaling with like the fours go though, because you don't really get much XP until you really start getting deep in the fours. I think I'm finally getting about as much XP per fight as I do doing this now, and this is obviously way easier. So yeah, pretty easy stuff. So I would just like, if you're still leveling, just rinse and repeat on that. So I think that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. Really enjoying the game. I'm by no means an expert. I just hadn't really seen any anything on YouTube that talked about builds or any kind of like grinding strategies or anything like that. So yeah, if you enjoyed, let me know. Ask me any questions you want, and I will see you guys later. Thanks.